Hey, bitch. Okay. I just got the most diabolically fantastic news that I may have ever gotten in my entire life. So, the other week, I ended up meeting up with an ex-boyfriend, okay? We hung out, whatever. Like, we were just catching up, haven't seen him in years, whatever. And he and I dated forever. Like, this person, knows me super well, all through our 20s, right? And we were just catching up on our lives, and guess what he told me, guys? Guess what he told me? Nobody else is going to be as excited about this as me. Do me a favor. Don't think about this from your perspective as though you're watching me and I'm excited about this. I need you to walk in my shoes and imagine that you got this news, okay? I just found out I'm the least crazy girlfriend that he's ever had. I'm the least crazy. And then to confirm that this is exciting for me. But once I got this news, hold on, how do I want to tell this series of events? Whatever. I called my other ex and I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? Yeah. Okay. Am I your least crazy girlfriend? And guess what his answer was? By far. I said, holy schnitzel. Okay, hear me out on this. Hear me out. I got pretty much convinced my entire childhood that I was super annoying, crazy, and too much, right? Have you ever heard of that? The too much wound, where you think you're just, what does that even mean? Too much. I've definitely talked about it before. I've come to learn that when somebody makes you feel like you're too much, they're like, please stop now. Especially when you're a kid, it really means that they don't have the bandwidth right now. It actually has nothing to do with you. You're fine. Bitch, did you know you can be as much as you want? I mean, what's the limit? Are you hurting anybody? Are you hurting yourself? No? Then be too much. Just do it, right? So I've had this narrative in my head that I'm just a I don't know, piece of shit, super crazy person. I don't know where it comes from. Somebody knows what I'm saying. You get me, right? So anyways, to get the news from two people that dated me for 4 years and 3 years and that they've had multiple girlfriends before, that I'm the least crazy. And I say that while making the craziest face ever. I'm the least crazy? This is fantastic. I'm walking on air over here. So, if you get me, just walk in my shoes and maybe you'll get it, okay? But my question is Jordan Blum gonna say that her ex was the least crazy? And who is Jordan? It's Dave Grohl's wife? Ex-wife? Okay. I'm sure you guys heard just a little bit ago, Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters, formerly of Nirvana, announced that he was having a baby outside of his marriage. Now, for you guys that didn't hear this, I'm sure a lot of you guys heard this. I feel like it's been all over the internet. Let me just read you exactly what the post says. Look, girl, look at this. I got my laptop today. She's a podcaster. She's a podcaster with a story to tell. Dude, okay, this hits all the beats. So, Dave's post says, I've recently become a father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. What a long-winded way to say I cheated. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children, and I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration towards all of the children involved as we move forward together. That last statement, hold on, this is so PR. Quote, we're grateful for your consideration towards all of the children involved, preemptively saying, please remember, we have children. So Dave makes this post, and let me also explain why this is such a big deal. He's the good guy of rock. He just is. Are you familiar with Dave Grohl? Okay, there's two types of people. People that are familiar with Dave Grohl and think he's the good guy of rock, and people that have no fucking idea who Dave Grohl is. So I feel like there's almost no in between, right? Or actually, sorry, there is one in between. Courtney Love. She's so fucking happy right now. She hates Dave Grohl. So Dave makes this announcement, and instantly, did you guys know that there's active Foo Fighters fan pages? there are active Dave Grohl fan bases, like pages on Instagram where they're posting daily stories. They're having contests with each other. Like the Foo Fighters fan base is active. They might be more active than the Ariana Grande fan base right now. The Ariana girls, they tired. Y'all been fighting battles on Twitter since 2013, huh? Y'all said, I'm going to put my sword down. But no, the Dave Grohl people, they are still going. So everyone's kind of like, okay, because you know when it hits the fan base first, they're very sweet, they're very nice, they're understanding. They're like, okay, well, at least Dave's taking care of the baby. At least, you know, he's honest about it. At least he came out first. Girl, do you really think that Dave Grohl wanted to come out first? Or do you think that some publication called him up and said, hey, Mr. Grohl, we just heard you're having a baby out of wedlock. How would you like to respond? And if you don't, we'll be publishing this on Monday. So most people theorize that a publication got a hold of this information and they called Dave basically saying, we're about to publish this. Do you want to say anything? So they wanted to get out ahead of it. I mean, look, think about it. If the media breaks it versus he breaks it on his Instagram, it's going to be taken two different ways. But they were not done with the good guy of rock. So they break the news, and the fan bases are dealing with it as best they can. I also got to throw this in here real quick. I saw this post on the Oasis subreddit, like the band Oasis. Okay, for audio listeners, this will be a little difficult to describe, but it was that meme where the guy turns around and it says first time, and the other person says, huh? But it's Oasis fans and Foo Fighter fans. Basically, we'll put it on screen. Liam has had so many baby mamas and like affairs that the Oasis fan base is just used to it at this point. So they're like, it's your first time, Foo Fighters fans. But either way, Foo Fighters fans, they're taking it as well as they can. The media on the back end, though, they're mining. They're trying to figure out who's the baby mama. Okay? Like, that's juicy. Dave was just like, I've fathered a child outside of my relationships. The media's like, we got to figure it out. Now, meanwhile, the rest of, honestly, bitch, America is reacting to Dave Grohl's affair. Okay, you guys might think that this is like really dramatic or like what's the big deal or whatever. A lot of people were genuinely really upset about Dave Grohl's affair, even people that were not fans of the Foo Fighters, even people that don't care about him, because it, in my opinion, ruins our illusion of love. When you look at their family, Dave has a successful career. People describe him as a Disney dad. He and Jordan have a beautiful family. They've been married for over 20 years. I think they have 3 daughters, they have 3 kids. This is like the dream, you know? This is what we all want. And so to find out that they were like, this is our family, everything's great, but Dave was like cheating behind the scenes, you know, this affects his wife, this affects his kids, all of that. I think people probably walked in Jordan's shoes and they were devastated for her. And just understandably so. I totally get it when it ruins your idea that love is real. When a couple that you think like that's the standard, that's what I want, turns out to not be perfect, and honestly not just imperfect. Cheating is the worst thing that to some people in a relationship. It's the worst thing. So I hope you can understand this is really like devastating for people, whether they care about Dave Grohl and Foo Fighters or not. It's just a bummer. It's a letdown. It's like one of those people that we were like, man, we wanted you to be the good one. So more people are reacting to it, and it really, I think it blew up pretty big. I'm curious to know in the comments if you guys heard about this top level or, you know, just a deep dive on it. Like, what did you guys hear? What popped up in your feed? Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, I was deep in the matrix to the point that I will be leaving out some details because even though I might think that they're true, I can't platform everything. But let's get into it. So, like I said, behind the scenes, the media is like, okay, who is the baby mama? Let's dig into all of his past relationships, right? And that's like a question that we didn't really think about in the beginning when he first made this statement. Was this the one time? Did this super famous rich rock star only cheat one time in his 50s? Did he? Did he? So they're digging in, trying to figure out anyone and everyone he's dated. And guess what? I don't know if you guys realize this, but people will talk to the press and leak information for cash. A lot of us have heard that before in the past. It happens now with content creators. It used to happen back in the day, like in the 90s and the 2000s. And it was definitely happening with Dave because people were leaking like a motherfucker. Now, usually when a person leaks, the media will keep them anonymous, but they will verify their identity and their connection to the person they're leaking on, right? So I've helped somebody with one of these before. If it's a very reputable source, generally they've checked emails or connections or something, and they're not going to publish that, but they're like, hey, we're confident they know this person or this is true. So one of the first things that came out that I was like raising an eyebrow to is, did you know that Jordan, Dave's wife, is really good friends with Kate Hudson? Yes, the actress. So Kate Hudson and Jordan were apparently having a phone call. And at one point, Kate Hudson said, verbatim, I can't believe Dave is still cheating at his age. So that made me think, like, is this something that like they knew and it was just like one of those Hollywood marriages where it's like, okay, I'm going to turn a blind eye to this. Like, okay, like, you know, think about it. Dave GROHL was in one of the most famous bands of the 90s. You think he wasn't out on the tour bus getting his wiener sucked off? Okay, you think that wasn't the deal? These guys that experience this tour life, especially like very famous musicians, they don't have to deal with any artist management. They don't have to deal with any parts of the business or finance. They get on the bus, they pick up their instruments, they either get back on the bus or they hook up with a couple of chicks. And when you can do that every single night back to back for years, and then now suddenly you're in a relationship, you think that man's gonna be faithful? I'm so sorry. That's what I think. And not to say that's Jordan's fault. It's not her fault at all. Who knows what their situation is? But, you know, as I put the pieces together, I'm like, are we surprised? I'm steadily more and more not surprised. So this was one article that came out about like a leaked call where somebody was like talking about Jordan and Kate Hudson's conversation. And so this makes me think like, okay, did they have an arrangement or something? And then boom, the media hits with another article. Bitch, I don't know if you're going to believe this. Okay. Think back to the internet, like 2015, 2016. One of the earliest videos of somebody yelling at an Uber or Lyft driver was this woman who was yelling at a Lyft driver for having a hula girl on his dashboard. I know some people are going to remember this, or if you actually see the video, you might remember it. This lady got kicked out of a Lyft for yelling at this guy for culturally appropriating Hawaiians by having like a hula girl on his dashboard. And the guy's kind of responding and saying, I got it from a thrift store and I liked it. Like, I didn't know it was a big deal. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, whatever. And she's just going off. Like, she's clearly drunk or something. And I'm skimming over the details of this video. But I mean, people hated this lady because she was so rude. It didn't even seem like she was trying to get across the point of cultural appropriation. It just seemed like she wanted to attack somebody and found a reason why. So when this video got leaked, people hated this lady. Well, that lady's name is Annalise Nielsen, and that was one of Dave GROHL's mistresses, bitch. I told you the media was like, we're going to find out. So through a couple of reports, they find out that Annalise Nielsen has been Dave's kind of like one of his allegedly long-term girlfriends for like 8 or 9 years. She is also the founder of the website God's Girls. God's Girls was a competitor to Suicide Girls back in the early 2000s. And if you don't know, these are alternative porn sites. And by alternative, I mean they're like girls with colored hair and piercings, like basically the alternative scene. And it's softcore porn. So Annalise started this website. And I mean, like, in a sense, she's kind of a modern day madame, right? And so somebody ends up leaking that they were roommates with Annalise back in the day. And this is so funny, too, because, you know, Annalise read that article and knew exactly who the was. And this person said that Dave GROHL would come over to the house on a regular basis. And it was just kind of like, oh, Anna, she and Dave are friends. Like, everything's all cool. But, you know, they would be in the house like, why are they always so close? Why are they on the couch like that? They never saw anything in particular happen. But here's the other detail. She would often go to Dave's house and just be like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with Dave. Bye. Or Dave would come over there on a regular basis. And then at one point before the pandemic, he was going to take her on tour with him. Allegedly. So why you come on. All I can say is, do I think that was his long-term girlfriend? So the media is not done yet because they're looking at Annalise like, okay, is this the baby mama? Like, could she have recently been pregnant? Does she have any birth records? Everyone's combing through it. It doesn't seem like it's her. So we have one alleged girlfriend, and now we have mystery baby mama. We've got wife over here and a possible slew of other women. So let me tell you what my research was. Okay, I'm going to be straight up with you. A lot of times Reddit has interesting gossip information, and like 50% of the time it's right. Okay, 50. I mean, what a roll of the dice. Actually, it's not even 50%. It's less than that. But like sometimes you'll read stuff and you're like, interesting. You take it with a grain of salt, right? So the first thing I did was I went on Reddit and I went into the search and I just searched through every comment on Reddit from the last 10 years. And I just looked up Dave Grohl affair, Dave Grohl slept with, Dave Grohl dated. And I found so I'm not going to report these as stories. I'm going to tell you the method that I did, okay? And if you do this right off the bat, it'll sort the comments on Reddit by relevance. But if you sort by new or oldest, it will take you back into the history of any time anybody has ever said a gossip piece about Dave Grohl possibly dating someone they know. And bitch, there's a lot up there. What? Look, hold on. Oh, God, it's so hard for me to not. I'm not going to read these. I know. So also, here is my little control test. I kind of just like thought of 3 or 4 other celebrities, kind of like influencer, celebrity type of people. And I searched their names with those exact things afterwards. Affair, dated, slept with, something. Because I was like, let's see how much gossip comes up. I will say this. More gossip about Dave Grohl dating various women in Los Angeles for periods of time. And what was interesting was a lot of these comments, they didn't say, oh, he slept with, or, oh, I had a one night stand with. A lot of these were like saying that they knew a person that was dating him, you know? But a lot more of these gossip comments came up about Dave than anybody else I searched. So that is my take it as you will, right? Look, bitch, this isn't sinister, okay? I don't have to give you a fully researched piece. You go do your own research, and I'm going to tell you how I found what I found. But it is very interesting, some of the stories that are up there. So once I see this, I'm like, okay, like this seems like something that might have been happening for a while. And then something else happens. Somebody on Twitter makes a post, and like, let me just be clear. Honestly, this post was insane. Like, it almost kind of triggers me realizing that like we are just in the age of misinformation. And then this Instagram post came out, and it's from this lady named Valerie, and it has a little picture of a baby, just like kind of from the mouth down and like a little hand, like very clearly a newborn. And it says, "My sweet Roxy Junie Grohl, being your mama has already been the most incredible experience of my life. Every day I fall more in love with you and this new role. Your daddy was by my It says, "Your daddy was by my side through the entire pregnancy, making sure we were both taken care of, and I'm so grateful for his love and support. I'm new to this whole baby mama thing, but I promise to always do my best for you. As much as I want to share my joy with the world, I also need to protect our privacy right now. I'm happy that everyone knows about you, though, because you are such a special part of my life." Also, it says, "P.S. Roxy, every time I look at you, I see so much of your dad in your face. It's like a little reflection of him in the tiniest, most beautiful way." From the shape of your eyes to the way your little nose crinkles when you smile, you are truly a Grohl through and through. Bro, she really wrote, "You are truly a Grohl through and through." it starts blowing up. Like, this is the other thing that's interesting. This is the first time I'm seeing this. In Dave Grohl's situation, homeboy is in the middle of a media firestorm, and not just every day, every couple of hours, something new is coming out. Like, that is crazy. And he's probably like, just waiting for it to stop. Well, it doesn't stop because she made this post. So somebody screen caps it. It blows up on Twitter. It's got hundreds of thousands of likes. Everyone's commenting on it on Instagram. Like, they're trying to figure out who this lady is, Valerie Grayston. How does he know her? And finally, after days of not making a statement, of course, because Dave made his initial statement, and then what else is there to say? A rep had to come out and actually say, hey, that's not real. That's not Dave's baby, and he doesn't know that woman. Normally, they just stay silent, but they were like, we gotta take care of this. And it's so interesting because, like, it takes a lot of balls to just take a random baby, or maybe it is your own baby, and make some post like this on Instagram. I mean, just to, like, trick people. So they finally respond, and Dave's team is like, that is not Dave's baby. Let's move on. And I think it's kind of obvious when you really look at the caption, because it's insane. My daddy like, you know, Dave's in the middle of a media firestorm, and you would post, your daddy was by my side my whole pregnancy. Like, come on. Okay, but of course, the media's not done yet, because who is the baby mama? Now, this detail I saw in several articles, but they didn't tie it back to any specific name. Now, they have said over the years, Dave Grohl has had multiple alleged long-term partners, some of which he's even bought houses for. Girl, not the down payment and just the monthly. He bought the house. He bought it. Now, I have dated and been friends with very rich men before that are dating multiple people. And my theory on this is one of them started to either ask for more or started to go a little nuts. And he was like, I gotta cut this off. Let me throw money at it. Because I've seen it before, bitch. Like, if you talking to a dude and he's giving you stuff and and he starts getting cold feet and you go, hey, what's going on? And you scare the shit out of a rich dude, he will give you money, okay? He will. He'll buy you a house. He'll buy you a car, girl. So I'm curious. I'm like, was he like so into these girlfriends, like so obsessed with them that he was like, let me buy you a house, baby, and then never talk to you again? Or was he like, I need to do something so big that I'm absolved of all guilt? Very interesting. Who knows? But so this is the moment that Dave Grohl really fell apart for me. I mean, listen, I was already out the door, but this really did it for me. This was reported to a couple of different news outlets, once again, through a source, through kind of a witness, but I just want to be clear, this detail didn't get posted on sites that I would say are like the highest tier of, reputable. But I'll share this with you because I thought it was interesting, and they really dug into it, and there was a lot of information. So one person said that there was trouble in the marriage for a while because Jordan, Dave's wife, had a hot celebrity tennis coach, and Dave was jealous of the coach. Now, once again, allegedly, this was coming from somebody that was close to the family that is selling details for money. Can we trust this person? I mean, the information's probably, I don't know. So on the screen, I'll show you a couple pictures of this guy, but this guy, he's a celebrity coach. He's got a $1.5 million house in Tarzana. It's up in like Northern California. And they listed like a couple of his clients. He's got some big celebrity clients. And like also, okay, for you guys that are listening on Spotify, he's like long hair, like kind of Fabio, like not like he kind of looks like a fitness Fabio to me. Okay, that's what he looks like, a tennis Fabio. And there's a whole bunch of pictures of Jordan and him. It does seem like they're very close, But if this was true, so, okay, hold on. So the source is claiming that Dave was jealous of this relationship between his wife and the tennis coach. We don't know if they were really getting into arguments over it, something like that, But when I read that, I was like, if that was actually true, that he was like upset with her for having some flirty relationship with a tennis coach, and he out here in the skin, raw dogging, no way, Dave, put it away. But I'll leave that there. So some other information that is loosely kind of out there as well is supposedly they both retained divorce lawyers before the announcement went out. So I'm kind of putting the loose details that I'm like, ooh, I kind of believe that, but I'll leave it up to you here at the end. But a couple of other sources said that they had retained a divorce lawyer before Dave even made his statement. Now, once again, I could totally believe that. But it looks like we have an update today. Oh, okay. Hold on. While I was looking for the most recent update, I found this thing. So this is the source. Here's the thing. This kind of pisses me off. The person that was leaking this leaked it to Daily Mail. Okay. Daily Mail will actually publish just about anything, which I don't love. I'll read you this detail. It says, quote, Dave GROHL has been jealous for ages about Jordan's hot tennis coach, a source told Daily Mail. Blum has been taking lessons from, quote, hot tennis pro Christopher Crabb for years, and GROHL believed that they had a flirty relationship that was inappropriate. Quote, they've had arguments about him, and Dave thinks that they've flirted. Jordan has told him that he's crazy to even think that. Is this? I mean, whoever reported this, they had to verify some connection that they had with them. But for me personally, I feel like Daily Mail will post just about anything. But also, they do look awfully close in these pictures. Anyway, I thought there was a bigger update. The update is just that the news is still trying to figure out who the baby mama is in all of his past relationships. And they somehow dug up a really old picture of him and Annalise Nielsen. I thought that their affair was going for like 8 years, perhaps. But this article is saying that this photo dates all the way back 15 years. Now, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be petty here for a minute. How you going to be the other woman for 15 years? Even if it's David GROHL. I couldn't do it. I don't know why I called him David. I couldn't do that. I couldn't. What? Could you do that? Okay, hold on. Let's talk this through for a second. No, wait. I can't do it. Like, even if he's super rich, and somebody also said that Dave would like sometimes pay for Annalise's rent. The roommate said that sometimes Dave would like pay her rent, which I'm not even gonna say allegedly. I believe it's true. Dave, show me the paperwork. Sue me. 15 years. What's the goal? Do you just like his company like that much? I don't know. I'm not clocking. I ain't clocking in no time, bitch. Get me out of here. Let me go find my man. Let me go find my person. I ain't gonna sit around here kicking rocks for 15 years. And then, oh my God. Okay, so Annalise Nielsen is the only confirmed Dave GROHL girlfriend we have. I'm telling you, there's multiple. Okay. Annalise is the only other confirmed Dave GROHL girlfriend we have. But let me ask you this. How do you think she felt finding out after 15 years of what she thought was being the main mistress, some other girl ended up getting the Dave baby? It's so messy. It's so messy.